March is over and the April PlayStation Plus games have just been announced, and it's a pretty decent month for PlayStation Plus yet again. I think this is going to be the most controversial month so far this year in terms of people really liking the lineup of games and people really disliking the lineup of games. In this video, we're going to talk about the 3 games for PlayStation Plus. I'm going to be talking about what they are, why you should care about them. We'll talk about their trophies briefly as well, and then I will give an overall score on what I think of this month's PlayStation Plus lineup. Honestly though, I think it's a pretty decent month, so I'm going into it pretty positive. Let's do it. Hello, and welcome back. If you're a new viewer of the channel and you've been watching some of my videos or you've just discovered me, my name is Josh, and I would love it if you hit the subscribe button down below. I make videos about PlayStation just like this every day or so on the channel, so hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date. It's completely free and it helps this channel out enormously. If you're an existing viewer, go ahead and boop that like button because that also helps me get into the YouTube algorithm. Now, before we start, what do you guys think of the PlayStation Plus lineup? Are you fans of the PlayStation Plus lineup? Do you hate the PlayStation Plus lineup? I've seen it go both ways online, with people really disliking it and really liking it. For those of you who don't want to watch this entire video, the TLDR version is we have 3 games for PlayStation Plus. The 2 PS4 games are Days Gone, the Sony first-party exclusive, and Zombie Army 4. Those are the 2 games for PS4, and the PS5 game is Oddworld Soulstorm. So if that's all you wanted, you just wanted to know what the games were, there you go. Go and enjoy them. Thank you so much for being here. For the rest of you guys, we're going to be talking about what the games are, why you should care and why you should check them out, and then we'll talk about the trophies really briefly as well in these games, so you can get an idea if it's something you want to go and platinum or if it's just a game that you want to play this month. Also, there is a free game, there is a bunch of free games available at the moment for everyone, even if you're not a Plus subscriber. We'll talk about those, and the new free play-at-home game coming out the middle of this month as well, in April. So let's kick on. Let's start with Days Gone. I think this is a good place to begin the video because I think it's probably the most significant title on the lineup. Days Gone is the Sony first-party title developed by Sony Bend Studios in Bend, Oregon. It follows a motorcycle gang, or a motorcycle gang member named Deacon St. John in the post-apocalypse, or the apocalypse that has been overtaken by zombies. It's essentially a open-world zombie game. The difference in this one is it has a completely different perspective. You're following the persona of this motorcycle gang guy who's essentially, he's a bad guy, but he's got a heart of gold. He's really a good guy. You'll come to love him as the story progresses. Now, this game here, it was a polarizing one in terms of reviews. This one here got very mixed reviews, some incredibly positive, some incredibly negative. I erred on the side of positive when I played this game. I actually personally really enjoyed it. I liked the aesthetic of it. I liked the motorcycle elements. I liked the differences that they did with the zombies in this one. One of the big selling points of this game was the zombies are called freakers, and they had these hordes, enormous hordes of zombies on the screen at a single time, and it was really cool seeing just hundreds of these things on the screen and you were able to mow them all down as you're playing through it. The motorcycle was a really cool element to this game as well, being able to ride around in the wilderness and stuff and have to constantly repair and refuel your bike. It kind of created a separate character in the motorbike itself. And then the narrative of the game too, which I'm not going to spoil, but it really is this weird romance story between Deacon looking for his missing wife when they got separated at the beginning of the apocalypse. And while it may seem like you're this tough as nails biker dude, there is this really emotional story that goes along with it. So, it does follow that similar Sony path of having a narrative-driven story that changes between gameplay and cinematic elements really seamlessly, like all Sony games do. I would say it's probably not as polished as a game like Horizon or God of War. However, I think the quality of this game was really, really high. I do think that it got a pretty unfair shake, and I think that's because of, I guess, just the oversaturation of that zombie genre. But in terms of open world zombie games, I think this is probably one of the highest budget and best ones available on the PlayStation 4. Now, Days Gone is good. I think it's a really, really solid addition to PlayStation Plus, and I think if you guys haven't played it, I highly recommend checking this one out. Definitely the best game on here this month. The other free PS4 game is Zombie Army 4. I believe it's called Zombie Army 4. I think it has a semicolon something there as well. This is a squad-based zombie game, and I think this is what's weird about this month's PlayStation Plus. You've got 2 zombie games paired together, which I don't really understand why. especially because Days Gone, I think, was criticized by hitting during that oversaturation of the zombie genre. So it's weird that they just went ahead and combined these two. Now, Zombie Army 4 is actually a really solid game as well. Developed by the guys who made Sniper Elite. These guys have focused really heavily on that sniping mechanic, but also that short range mechanic with this game. Really, really good game to play with your friends. If you get 3 other friends together, you can play 4-player co-op in this game. The whole campaign is playable in co-op, and you basically just have to take out a bunch of zombies in this sort of World War II era setting. Really fun, silly game. Not serious like Days Gone at all. It's very silly and quirky. There is zombie sharks in there. There are zombie animals and things like that. It's pretty insane. But I highly recommend checking it out. Narrative and stuff, I don't even know what the narrative of this game was. I just remember it being super fun to play with a couple of buddies when it came out last year. Now, the thing that's really relevant about these two specifically is they're pretty new games. Zombie Army 4 only came out at the beginning of 2020, and Days Gone, I believe, came out at the beginning of the previous year. So they're only about 2 years old and 1 year old respectively. The challenge I have with these two is, while they're both good games on their own, Zombie Army, I should say before we continue, it's a good game. It's not a fantastic game. It's a good game. It's worth checking out with some friends. By yourself, it might get a little bit bored, but with mates, I think it's good fun. Now, the two of them are zombie games. That's the problem. So I think you're going to get zombie fatigue for playing both of them. And they're both pretty lengthy as well. Days Gone, I think, is about 60 or 70 hours in length. The Zombie Army game, I believe, maybe 20 hours in length. I think it took me and my friends to play through. Obviously, replayability there because it is a squad game. So, look, good additions, weird pairing though. The last one is just for PS5 owners. However, if you have a PS4, you don't own a PS5 yet, go onto the web store, add it to your library on the web store, and you will own the game, even though you can't play it yet because you don't have a PS5. When you get a PS5 in the future, you'll be able to own it. So remember, go to store.playstation.com or on your mobile phone, store.playstation.com, download the app, and then add it to your library. Log in, add the game to your library, you'll own it forever. Now, Oddworld Soulstorm, I believe, is a remake for the PlayStation 5 of Oddworld Abe's Exodus. I think it's the second Abe's game coming, being remade for PS5. I don't believe it's a completely new story. I think it's just a remake of that game that's been enhanced and tweaked. Now, I'm not a huge Abe's Odyssey Oddworld fan. I personally don't really enjoy those games. They're essentially, I guess comparing them to a Lemmings game to a degree is kind of how I would do it. It's a 2D puzzle game where you have to free all of the Mudungans, I think, or Muduggans. I actually don't know what they're called. The little fish guys that you play as, and you're freeing these slaves as you're trying to escape from this meat factory. Essentially, that's what the first one was about. That's the only one I've actually played. This one, I believe, it's the same principle. It's a puzzle game where you have to, a stealth puzzle game. You have to avoid the different detectors and things like that and escape while collecting these guys as you go. It came out in the era when these kind of games were popular. Games like Crash, where you just had to progress from beginning to end and you would finish the game. But if you progressed from beginning to end while getting all the boxes and the fruit and things like that and all the extras, you get all these bonuses. This is basically the same. All you got to do is escape, but you got to collect the different things along the way to get the 100%. Now, I'm personally not a huge fan of this. It's nice that we're getting a brand new free game for PlayStation 5 owners, but look, I don't think this is anything incredible unless you're a big fan of this genre already. If you're a new gamer and you never played these games on the PS1 or the remakes of them on the PS3, PS4, whatever it was, I don't know how well they're going to hold up today. I'd be interested actually to see if any of you guys haven't played the Oddworld games, what you do think of this game. Let me know in the comments down below. But those are your 3 games as they are. Trophies. You guys are probably curious about whether or not you should go ahead and platinum these games. Now, we don't have details on Oddworld, but we can talk about Days Gone and Zombie Army 4. I'm not going to do a full guide or anything like that, but I'm just going to put it, sort of just talk through it. Days Gone, I would say, is a pretty standard AAA Sony Platinum trophy. It's the kind of game that doesn't have any difficulty trophies. It doesn't have a New Game Plus thing, so you can just play through the game once and then go and clean it up afterwards. Very similar to your Ghost of Tsushima, very similar to your Spider-Man, where you just play through the entire game. Nothing is missable, nothing is glitched. You can go back and get collectibles and kills and all that stuff later on after you've played through the main campaign. So Days Gone, I would say, is a normal difficulty platinum. It's probably going to take you somewhere in the realm, I would say, of 70 to 80 hours to platinum this game though, because I'm pretty sure the main campaign of the game took me about 40 or 50 hours to finish on its own. For completionists out there as well, Days Gone does have some DLC content, so keep that in mind too. Zombie Army is a different beast. I think this one is probably going to be a sort of normal to difficult platinum. It sits in that sort of 5 out of 10 category if we're talking about traditional trophy difficulties. It's probably going to take you in the realm of about 60 hours, and there are online and multiplayer trophies in this one as well. You're going to need to have some buddies to help you get through this. There are difficulty based trophies as well for finishing the campaign on various difficulty modes and things like that. It's a lot more of an arcadey game. It's not just sort of a linear narrative or open world narrative like Days Gone. This one here, you play a level, and then you finish the level, you get a score, then you play the next level. So it makes replayability and collectibles and things a lot easier because you know which levels you have to go back and play to get everything. But it is going to be a little bit more difficult and a little bit more time consuming than Days Gone. Over on PlayStationTrophies.org, the scores for these two games are actually identical. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Days Gone is an easier platinum than Zombie Army 4. I think Zombie Army 4 is definitely harder. That's just my 2 cents, so keep that in mind between those two. In terms of Abe's the Oddworld Soulstorm, we have no idea what the trophies are like on that game, so your guess as good as mine. Now, before I get on to the overall score for April's PlayStation Plus, keep in mind we also have a free additional game coming to the PlayStation 4 this month. We have Horizon Zero Dawn coming to the PlayStation 4 completely free, as well as these 3 games. It's not a PlayStation Plus title, but it is coming to all PlayStation owners free as part of Sony's Play at Home initiative. So keep that in mind. You'll also be getting Horizon Zero Dawn for free with these 4 games, or 3 games, which means you're getting 4 free games this month, which is damn awesome. That comes about halfway through the month though, so it's not available just yet. Total final score for this month's PlayStation Plus. Last month we had Final Fantasy VII in the mix, and I think that really did add a lot to it. Now this month we had Days Gone, and I really do like Days Gone, and it's a really, really tough one. You know, I'm gonna say that April's PlayStation Plus is a 7 out of 10 in terms of total PlayStation Plus score. This month, this year, 2021 has been a fantastic year for PlayStation Plus. I think every month has been solid, and I think March was really a big peak with Final Fantasy VII. That's a huge game to be giving away for free on Plus. I think that was a huge get for us. This month, Days Gone, another massive title. It has been included though in the PlayStation Plus collection for all PS5 owners, you know, for the last 5 or so months now. So we have kind of had it for free a little bit as well. I know not everyone gets access to that, but you know, I think in terms of value for a PS5 owner, it's not quite there. However, for everybody else, I think this is a really decent month for PlayStation Plus. Let me know what you guys think of this lineup. I know a lot of you guys probably already own Days Gone, so it might be a little bit of there, and then Zombie Army goes on sale quite frequently, and I do recommend it in my videos, so maybe some of you have purchased that too. I want to know your overall thoughts of the lineup in the comment section down below. Let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. If you're a new viewer, you haven't already subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for anymore. Hit the subscribe button down below. Leave a like. I would really appreciate that as well. And I'll see all you gamers in the next video. Bye for now.